Linda Wolf, the Executive Director of Great Khalid Foundation, and we're here to speak about Juneteenth.
Hello, I'm Sarika Barlow, the CEO for YWCA El Paso del Norte.
Hello, I'm Melissa Atkins-Wardy, Director of Impact Giving for YWCA.
Hello, I'm LaDeja Turner, the Social Equity and Empowerment Coordinator for YWCA.
So ladies, why are we doing a black tie Juneteenth event in the city of El Paso when there are 4.2% African Americans in the community?
Because there are 4.2% of African Americans in the community. And that 4.2 needs to be celebrated, especially an event like Juneteenth being elevated to a gala. We've heard of the cookouts that we have here, little small things to represent the significance of that date. But we've never, ever had a gala, a Juneteenth celebrational gala in El Paso. And I think it's important to kind of represent all the citizens of El Paso and their history.
And also to educate, right?
To educate.
Because now that Juneteenth is a federal holiday, people need to know why they're off of work, why they're celebrating Juneteenth. No one knows.
Well, I didn't know for a long time. It's not like it's in any of our history books. I wasn't taught this in school. I didn't know what Juneteenth was. And, we have to go out and get the information. But when Juneteenth became a federal holiday, we did our investigation. Like, what is it about? Like, you know what it is, but really, what is the significance of Juneteenth?
And then also that it's not a black holiday. It's an American holiday. It's a
American
shared
holiday.
history.
Exactly.
Right? And then, so then as we learn about, because I didn't learn about it either. I was 40 years old before I learned what Juneteenth was. So then once I learn about it and I uplift and honor it, but then how do I show up for it? Right? Like, did y'all want me walking into your backyard or the company picnic or the community picnic? But now with the gala, the doors are open for everybody because it's a day for everyone to celebrate and cherish and honor and learn about and continue on that journey.
And that's important. I think that's significant because we didn't know that you wanted to come to the cookout.
Wow.
You know
I always
saying?
want to be at the party. But for this, yeah, and so it's like that's how do you and I know we use like allyship but just how do you show up for other humans?
Right.
Right? Like
Yeah.
I care about all the three of you. I care about my other black friends and family members, and how do you show up for them in a space that maybe wasn't yours historically, you didn't know about, maybe if you're not wanted. And so I think that when we open the doors for everybody, and we talked about, the continued learning and journey, that now we move forward together.
Now we
And
move
isn't that-
forward together.
Yeah.
And, a lot of our Caucasian or Mexican American brothers and sisters feel like if they ask the questions, they're going to offend. We didn't invite you at first because we thought we were going to be rejected.
Yeah.
We didn't think it was big enough.
Yeah.
We didn't think it was big enough for that. You know what I'm saying? And we feel now that it's all about inclusivity and education. So this gala that we're going to have on June 17th, 2023, at 6:30, is going to be more than a black tie event. There's going to be an art auction there. You'll be educated on what the Juneteenth experience is, the cultural things that we put in, down to the food, down to the music, down to the even stepping.
Yes.
It will allow people to kind of absorb that culture that maybe they haven't,
Yeah, it'll be an
attempted.
evening of triumph and black excellence. But what I love are all the details that we've been obsessing over for the last couple months to, our art exhibition, bringing in, because art is such a huge part of El Paso. And I think this whole theme of the evening really represents the beauty and inclusiveness of El Paso. But we have, we've got the art, we've got the history wall. I mean, you blew my mind yesterday when you taught me there were still 250,000 enslaved people in Texas on June 19th, 1865.
Yes.
Like I struggled with tears when you said that. One, I was embarrassed that I didn't know, but then two, like that is a lot of human souls.
That's a lot of human souls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to honor their memory.
And I feel
on that
like
night.
it's important because if one person is enslaved, everyone's enslaved.
Yes.
Yep.
So we wasn't really free.
Yeah, what I love most about the resiliency of our people, of Black people, of brown people even, is that we have learned that through our adversity, through our struggle, when there's an opportunity to celebrate and to look our best, we do that like nobody's business. We do that, I mean, when I tell you we know how to celebrate, we know how to celebrate. And so I think what's important about this event is bringing the El Paso community into the party, at the table, to really celebrate and to learn, because this is not just Black history. This is American history. And so it's really time to let us all share in this now federally recognized holiday. It's not just a day off, but just let it resonate that if you have felt in the past like you haven't been included, please know there's a little bit of distrust.
Yes.
And so please don't take this event lightly. We're inviting you into the fold. We want you to be a part, but just respect that even when the story was told, there were over 250,000 people who were basically ignored. And so in a community that has been ignored for so long, for us to want to open up and bring you to the table to celebrate, we welcome you, but just let that resonate.
Right.
Yeah. So LaDeja, you grew up
In Mississippi.
and you grew up being aware of Juneteenth and celebrating it
Yes.
with your family. So then that's something you'll pass on to your daughter. So
Yeah.
Juneteenth isn't just mom's birthday. It's also this cultural.
I like it how you put that in there. I wanted to do that.
And so, how will you teach your daughter about it and pass down whatever maybe family traditions you had, but then culturally, like how do you plan to pass that down to your little girl?
Yeah, so Juneteenth was taught to me by my great-grandmother.
Wow.
She's 100 years old.
Wow.
I know, and we've always had family celebrations, family cookouts, so I think we're just going to keep that tradition going for my daughter and inviting more people in, the same thing that we're doing with this event.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in El Paso, there's a lot of that going on in the community. I know that there are several barbecues that are happening, but we're not always invited to the barbecues. But I know that the community and the families are doing it. I know the city is supporting some events at another park. And then after you do all of that wonderful day of celebration, shower up,
Yes.
put on your finest, come and look fabulous, and come and celebrate with us.
Yeah. It's gonna be so. We did a walkthrough yesterday, and it was just,
We had goosebumps in a couple
we
of
really
parts
did
during-
because we could see it. I could see it. I could see the theater full, and I could see people just looking over the art and looking over our history lane, historical history lane. I could see people taking their little photo on our 360,
Yes.
and then going to the red carpet and just being fabulous with what they have going on. But
Yeah. I think I'm most excited for the music performance.
oh yes,
Just because it's going to be such an interesting collaboration of different sounds and talents but it's just going to
it's gonna hit you when you come in. When you first come in, we have our Siobhan Williams, and she's gonna bring her band. She does a lot of great work throughout El Paso. So shout out to Siobhan. We have Billy Towns that is going to kind of be on stage and do some performances. I'm going to sing, so that's going to be good. And I have my girls coming in.
You just sliding that
I
in.
did.
You're sliding that in all low-key, like you're gonna sing.
I'm gonna sing a couple
You're
tunes
gonna do a little something.
here and there. You know,
I'll start singing after a few of the specialty tequila drinks.
Yes. Yeah, there will be a signature drink.
You give me
that
3 or
night,
4,
too.
and I promise you, I will think I'm a singer.
yeah. No, and by the end of the day, I think it's just gonna be this is good, and we want to just bring this back every year, just to celebrate the day the way it needs to be.
Yeah, you get so much. It's almost like 3 events in one.
Mm-hmm.
You have a grand reception where there's so many things going on. It's just a lot. It's like
It's gonna stimulate your senses.
absolutely. And then after that, when you're like, oh, this is amazing, and I'm eating all of these Southern inspired appetizers, then you go into the performance hall. And there's a show, and I tell you there's a show that you need to come and see, but it's not over after that.
Yeah, we got the Swell
You
Kids.
got the Swell Kids.
Swell Kids are coming. You know, they're my favorite DJs.
You got the move.
Yeah,
You're like,
I just remember the last time I was jamming to.
Well, and that actually reminds me, when we were upstairs yesterday and we were talking about the DJ and the setup and, where were we going to dance and have a dance floor? And you said we don't need a dance floor. We don't need a specific place to dance. And it kind of circles back to what you said about, Black people, African Americans have learned to celebrate and grasp that joy and good. And when we were doing our walkthrough yesterday, you said we're just going to dance forever.
Yeah.
And I love that now.
I don't want it to be constricted into a square or a circle.
Yeah.
You dance where you are.
Yeah.
Dance where you are. We have so much space. Of course, we have 2 sections. The first one is normal admission, and then we have our VIP on the 2nd floor. But there's so much space there to dance.
And I love how everything with this event has a purpose.
Yes.
Yes.
Down
Because
to the
even
little.
when we had so much against us, we were always creatives. From our food to the music to the way that we dress and show up for Sunday service.
Yes.
So I love how we're able to bring this Black excellence to the city.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I will tell you, the community is showing up. I mean, our sponsors are coming in left and right for this event. I mean, ADP, we have Jack and Jill of America Incorporated. We have Rais.
Rais.
You
hear that?
We have our Nigerian Physicians Association. I mean, and the list is continuing to grow. And so we're very excited. And I know the city of El Paso is a strong supporter of this event.
Thank
and
you.
so, yes, they are pushing diversity and inclusion in this wonderful border town. And I don't think there's a greater city in El Paso to live when it comes to inclusion.
Yeah, I know.
And
El Paso
it's
is
just
the
the
place.
friendliest people
Yeah.
that I think I've probably ever encountered in the
Yeah.
United States of America. So
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we're both detail oriented. So down to the last detail, to make that experience, make your experience when you come into that door, just mind blowing is our objective, and everything has a purpose. So
And let's give a shout out. And you talked about support for the city, because support does need to come. I mean, it can be organic and from the community, but we also need top-down support from our government officials and our city reps. But this team at Destination El Paso, where they are coming from and their willingness to learn,
they're so
and
excited.
they are, but and
They're
also
so
I mean, and
excited.
they're an A+ team, but even down to the detail of what colors or patterns their bartenders might wear to make sure that it aligns and celebrates Juneteenth, and not taking anything for granted or making assumptions, checking in with us, learning from us, like, are we doing this right? How can
Right.
we do it
How can
better?
we do
And
it
not
better?
not like, is the food the best? Is are the drinks the best? Because that's always what they're doing, but with regard to the respect for the cultural and historical aspect of that, like that really moved me yesterday when we had some conversations with them, and just making sure that, I mean, you could tell they really cared about it,
Yeah.
and not just pleasing the client, but they really cared about why we're coming together.
Right.
And the meaningfulness
And
behind
the impact.
it. Yeah, the impact.
That
Yeah.
this celebration is going to give the community. And it's like, that was important. And of course, they're not going in to kind of offend anybody that's coming through the door.
Right.
And we have to make sure that you know, kind of they're educated on some of the cultural beliefs so that we can make sure that it's, you know.
Yeah, and I would say for those that are listening, bring your family.
Oh, yes.
Bring your
Yeah.
older teenagers, your
Yeah.
older young men and young women. Let them dress up. Let them put on their Sunday's best or their tuxedo or their prom outfit. Let them come.
Yes.
Because like one of the things that our community does is that we celebrate young and old. And so this is not, one of those kind of stuffy events. It's going to be a lot of energy. It's going to be a lot of fun. And start your kids early. Start getting them to understand because when we change the minds and get that diversity and inclusion at an early age, it really does help make where we live a better place.
Yeah, and then they can show their kids, and then they
Yes.
can show their kids. It's a generational thing
Yes.
that we need to start doing. They need to start showing up and need to start, having pride in whatever color your skin is,
But also taking pride in skin colors that are like not yours or opposite yours.
Yes.
Right?
Right.
And I think uplifting and holding up those communities, those people, those struggles. I mean, it wouldn't have been my struggle, but I certainly want to show up and support and move forward,
Yeah.
in the right direction where we need to go and make sure that my children are behind me, following, watching me out front, so that eventually they become the ones that are out front.
Yeah. And I think it's just the discussions that need to be had at the dinner table of, being honest with yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Am I doing all I can do? And I kind of go back to your story because you kind of blew my mind when you was like, I didn't even know that I was welcome to do it. And even if we're not putting out that, it might seem that way to you. How do I ask the question without being offended? How do I, be an ally?
Yeah.
So it's like I didn't even think about your side, your psyche on all of it.
Yeah, and I think that's important when we can meet each other with grace and meet each other knowing that that other person is coming with best intentions and we just don't know the perfect way. I mean, this is messy stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like and I don't even really know of a country that's doing it well, right? Like this is hard stuff. I mean, being a human being is complicated and I think we overcomplicate it for ourselves. So I think, and we had a really strong and beautiful conversation the other day with our other teammate, but we created a safe space for the three of us to talk, and we showed up with grace and authenticity and trust, and we were like blowing each other's minds left and right. Like at one point we were just like sitting there holding each other's hands because we were like, whoa. and I think we left as better people, and I know like we each of us had like a lot of stuff to think about. And it was just so powerful. And like like you and I both, we like said stuff to each other. We were like, whoa, like, wow. And it was powerful. And so I think it's how do you show up in a way that's helpful and pure and good that, and if you maybe overstep, that you trust that person will come back to you and like meet you where you're at, but come back to you and say, this is the best way to show up for me, to show up for my family, to show up for this event, for my people, whatever. And you do it in a place of coaching and learning and just completely let go of ego and just show up vulnerable because the end goal is what we're all after.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I like that you said that show up vulnerable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that means you're open. And so that's, I think if our community, if the body of people could just come there open to the idea that there's something in the space to receive, I believe they're going to have a phenomenal night. I know I'm looking forward to it. I'm dragging my kids in their best wear, and I'm excited. I know I'm honored to partner from the YWCA El Paso de Norte to partner with the Great Khalid Foundation
The Great
and bringing
Khalid.
this to El Paso.
Yes, I'm honored as well. And I was talking to, I think I was just talking to the masses, and it was like, I would hear your name, I've never seen you before. I'm like, why haven't I met this lady? And you came knocking on the door, and we had a great conversation, and we're making it happen. I'm just so excited. I'm in this space where I know what it's going to be, having in my mind's eye on how this is going to be so impactful for a lot of lives in El Paso.
You know, I'm going to put you on the spot.
What?
Put you on the spot. You got your warm water? Can you just, as we close this out, can you give me a little taste?
Oh, goodness.
I told you I was going to put you on the spot.
If we would have discussed this, I would have had a song in mind.
What were you telling me the other day? You were telling me one of the songs. I don't know if we want to give them some of our songs over there.
I can tell you how I feel for you and all the things that's all you get. Ooh! That's all you get. That's all you get. That's all you get. I can't give you the show.
So much more that is going to happen.
You gotta come out and see it.
Yes, June the 17th, Abraham Chavez Theater. Just wait and see.
Wait and see.
Yes.
Come on out.
Woo, that was so amazing.
The Great Khalid Foundation, in collaboration with the YWCA, are proud to bring to you the Juneteenth Culture Celebration, first Black Tie Citywide Juneteenth Gala in El Paso history, happening Saturday, June 17th at the Abraham Chavez Theater. Doors open at 6:30 p.m. This is a black tie event that will feature an art auction, live music, performances including live jazz featuring Siobhan Williams, Billy Towns Band, fine art, cultural acts and dance, Southern appetizers, the Swelve Kids. Lineup subject to change. Click on the link below to get your tickets today. Call 915-500-1000 for sponsorship information. Visit thegreatkhalidfoundation.org for more information. The Great Khalid Foundation, supporting education and innovation.